Alright, man, y'all bear with me for a second, because currently this is like take 25 of me trying to fucking stammer my way through this bullshit, so I'm not even gonna fuck around with it anymore. And yeah, I'm just gonna dive straight into this shit, and if you fuck with it, you fuck with it. If you don't, you don't. I don't want your likes, I don't want your subscribes, but I think this could be an entertaining video series of just a lot of shit that I hear from the community, a lot of shit that new players ask, and they might not get the answers they're looking for, or they get answers, but it's, you know, that's not fucking good answers. And I also want to say that I think it's very important that a game like Oaklands, you play it however you enjoy it. You don't listen to random people on the fucking internet tell you how you should play Oaklands, or the same way you wouldn't listen to anybody tell you how to live your life, or tell you, you know, shit like that. You do what you enjoy, right? And yeah, so please keep that in mind the whole time that I'm talking about all this bullshit that I have set up for today. And yeah, hopefully you can take something away from what I'm gonna say. And what this is pertaining to or about is from something that I heard today, and that's what most of these videos are going to be based on, are things that I hear and things that I see in the community, questions that I hear asked, and that answers that are given to these new players that just aren't satisfactory to me. It's not the answers that I would give to these new players, right? And this is going to be pertaining Lumite, Scuba Tank, Plek, and yeah, Plek versus Flameslate. There's going to be some other things mentioned, but yeah, this whole thing comes from someone asking if they should sell their Lumite for cash, or if they should buy something out of the river shop. And yeah, the answer they got is that you should buy Scuba Tank. You should buy Scuba Tank and do Plek. And yeah, that kind of motivated me to make this video and start this series up. And what I've done pertaining to that is I've listed out a few things about that whole scenario and situation, about that's the route you should take. And yeah, I do not agree with that. And so here's some things pertaining to that. Number one, the Lumite, Scuba Tank, Plek idea. So you're a new player and someone tells you that, they tell you you shouldn't sell the Lumite for cash, you shouldn't forge and refine the Lumite, you should go to river shop and yeah, spend X amount of hours to get that, right? To get a fucking Scuba Tank to go do Plek, right? And these are just some things that I've written down about this. Spending hours or X amount of time, depending on your playstyle, just to buy a Scuba Tank to make money doing Plek is pointless for a new player. That's not to say that Scuba Tank as a whole is pointless. It's not. It has uses. Its main one being Plek, and I would honestly stretch to say that is its only use. Yes, you can drive underwater, and that's pertaining to Plek. You can drive underwater around the whole fucking map if you want, but what use is that to you, or what use is that to a new player who wants to progress in the game or make money? I personally feel that Scuba Tank should be one of the last items you acquire in-game, along with Gleam Harvester, right? And everyone's kind of in agreement that Gleam Harvester isn't really worth spending that amount of time, but everyone kind of feels differently about Scuba Tank. Oh, Scuba Tank is definitely worth your time, and it's not worth your time starting out. You will hear people say things like, oh, but you can do Plek or go underwater and go to Pi Island, right? So firstly, Pi Island gives you no benefit. There is a giant moai that spawns there, and large light slate nodes that very, very rarely spawn magnetite, right? So again, grinding Scuba Tank for X amount of hours just to get to Pi Island quicker is pointless. It holds no value to you, right? Unless you're that interested in things. I mean, it's just, it doesn't make sense to me, right? It might make sense to you, but it doesn't to me. Grinding Scuba Tank just to drive underwater in most cases is pointless and holds no real benefit unless you feel inclined to do Plek. And again, that's kind of what I'm advocating against here, is don't do that to do Plek. The amount of money you will make doing Plek, versus other methods with more easily obtainable requirements is negligible. The difference is pretty much non-existent. Lumite itself is an amazing money-making opportunity for new players after getting things such as a good pickaxe, industrial forge, and refinery. I'm going to try to stay on track here with Lumite and Scuba, but assuming you do willows to acquire those three things that I just listed, your forge, pickaxe, refinery, whatever, right? Just 1 to 2 good Lumite runs should net you close to or just under 200,000 oak bucks, oak cash, right? Which can be used to purchase an obsidian belt, making you immune to damage from lava inside magma cave. We're going to get more into this later. We're going to skip down here, and yeah, once you have those three things, Lumite cave can be accessed and Lumite can be mined in around just 1 to 2 minutes if coming from plot 5 or 6. Obviously, if you're across the map at like plot 8 or something, you know, give or take 30 seconds, but it's fast. It's extremely fast to get there, mine it, get the fuck out. Obviously, mining the whole cave will definitely take a lot longer than 1 to 2 minutes, but just to get there and mine your first initial ore of Lumite, it's fast. It's very quick. Getting to the cave itself takes no time or effort. Navigating through the cave, there's no dangers, there's no risks besides driving off the fucking edge. And yeah, to kind of add on to that, if you were driving through Lumite cave and there is a rock and you kind of think you can kind of just squeeze around the edge, just get out and mine the rock, push the shit out of the way, drive over it, do whatever. You try to squeeze around on a lot of those places in Lumite cave, you will fall. All of your Lumite will go into the river and it's just a fucking hassle, right? They did nerf Lumite recently, so I'm not sure on the value of a truckload or what 1 to 2 runs would actually get you, but I assume that it's still pretty close to before, and it will get you very close to just under 200k or around that. Again, I'm spacey as fuck, and I'm not sure if I've already mentioned willows, and the willows are probably the best bet, and willows are what you want to do to get your starting cash, your cash to acquire things like your industrial forge and refinery and your reinforced pickaxe, right? That's what you want. That's what you want to do. You want to do willows until you have the cash to afford those things, and then you want to go to Lumite, and you want to do your 2 runs of Lumite, and then you want to go buy your obsidian belt from Magma Cave. Willows will give you cash flow to buy all of that. Willows are very good money for new players. Very low requirements. You don't need the best forge. You don't need the best planker and sawmill. You don't need the best anything to do willows, and it's still very good money for new players, right? But the other reason why I mentioned taking that route for willows to get your refinery and forge is that this will be out of the way once done. It's something you won't have to worry about having later on. You could do a couple Lumite runs, process, sell, head to Magma Cave, buy your obsidian belt, right? And obsidian belt. This opens not only the best moneymaker Flameslate in the game, but a few others that are not such best, such as, you know, magma trees, or the potential to mine lots of obsidian and adderite easily, which are very rare ores. Whereas spending the time to get a scuba tank just makes Plek easier, and that's pretty much it. So even if you decide to follow what I've said so far and realize, oh, this dude is dumb as fuck, you know, why did I listen to him? I fucking hate Flameslate. This was a terrible idea. It doesn't end there. You still have the opportunity to farm magma trees and other rare ores, like I said, such as the obsidian and adderite. You know, it opens up a lot of opportunities to make money. Whereas if you decide to spend in the time and the credits to go buy a fucking scuba tank, and you're like, oh, well, you know, Plek fucking sucks, why did I decide to do this? Then you're pretty much back to square one, and your scuba tank is pretty much useless to you. You don't like Plek. You just spend all that time doing that, and yeah, there you go. And again, whereas if you spend the time and the money to go get the obsidian belt, you have a lot more diversity in your money-making options, right? I'm not sure if there's much else I can say that I haven't already covered. Obviously, you may need guides on how to do some of the things that I've mentioned, and for the most part, that information is out there. I may have to make some guides on some of this shit at some point. I don't really want likes or subscribes for this, and I doubt I will get any, because I'm sure if anything it's going to be people shitting on me in the comments for saying that, oh, fuck Scuba Tank, fuck Plek, right? But it doesn't matter, and that's what I said in the beginning, that you should play Oaklands how you enjoy it. There will be some more videos kind of similar to this one. Hopefully they will be funnier, and with time I'll get better at doing this type of thing. And yeah, hopefully you took something away from what I said here, man. The whole point. Do not spend the time getting Scuba Tank just to do a money-making method that you might not like. Spend the time, spend the money to get Obsidian built, and you can comfortably have access to multiple money makers. That's it. That's the only point that I've been trying to make here. And yeah. If at least one person learns something from this or decides that this helps them out a lot, that means the world to me.